All right. Well, food security, what is it all about on the ground? How does this actually affect so many people over there? Here's a reality check of how this could work on the ground and what some of the concerns are.
India's irony, overflowing godowns in the Republic of Hunger. 61 million children in India suffer from malnourishment. At 1 in 4 children, that's worse than Bangladesh and sub-Saharan Africa. Even as India is poised to triple wheat exports this year to a record 6 million tons. This, as the government moves to procure an additional 53 million tons of food grains, will stretch the existing storage capacity, resulting in overflowing godowns. For this family in Madhya Pradesh's Bilai village, food grains rotting in the open is criminal. Vikas earns just 1,000 rupees per month as a mine worker. His meager salary just not enough to feed the family of 5. Their 3 children, aged between 1 to 5, are malnourished. UPA2's flagship scheme could literally be a lifesaver for them.
कुछ इलाज खाना दवाई ववाई लिखते हैं, खाने पीने की चीजें लिखते हैं? नहीं लिखते हैं तो पैसा नहीं होता खरीदने के लिए, तो नहीं कर पाती हैं फिर.
The much-awaited food security bill promises 5 kilos of grains per person per month to nearly 67% of India's population at 1 to 3 rupees per kg.
Food security bill may not be an instant solution to the problem of malnourishment, but many food activists agree that it is certainly a beginning. But will the 1.23 lakh crore program be easy to implement? Corruption, coverage and inclusion remain big concerns.
If we leave any room for corruption in National Food Security Bill, it will contribute in terms of non-implementation of bill. It will also, in a sense, it will also make sure that entitlements do not reach to the poor people, and hunger and malnutrition will continue to be in place.
Critics say at a time when India's economy is growing at its lowest pace in a decade, the populist scheme aimed at 2014 will simply add to the fiscal nightmare. India's food subsidies account for nearly 40% of overall subsidy cost and is expected to soar to more than 50% once operationalized. So is the world's biggest, most ambitious food guarantee scheme a costly mistake or India's best anti-poverty weapon?
Well, what is this going to mean for people in our country? Will this actually work? Because if it does, it will be the largest such exercise on earth. Nothing like this of this magnitude has ever been attempted. Can India afford something like this? Is the eradication of hunger in this country still just a dream? Well, the panel we have for you this evening is perhaps the finest panel in the world to look at various aspects of this. I'm joined from Kolkata by Professor Amartya Sen, Nobel Laureate in Economics. Thank you, sir, very much for being with us. From New York, thank you. Professor Arvind Panagaria, Professor of Economics at Columbia University. Also with me in the studio, Professor Jean Drèze, Honorary Professor of Economics at the Delhi School of Economics. Thank you all very much for being with us. We're also joined by K.V. Thomas, the Minister of State for Consumer Affairs, Food and Public Distribution, Prakash Javadekar, the spokesperson of the BJP, Sanjay Nirupam, Lok Sabha MP of the Congress. Let me come to you, Mr. Thomas, first. Let's just take a look at what's happening in Parliament today. Are you concerned that one of the flagship programs of this government to eradicate hunger in this country may in effect not make it past Parliament because the opposition is stalling you at every stage?
So in a democracy, all the issues have to be discussed in the Parliament. The Parliament forum should be used. But unfortunately, mainly for the last 6 months, even the question hour is not being allowed to be run. The question hour is the right of the member. Now this food security bill, which we started the procedure in 2009, and gone through different levels of discussion. And finally, it has gone through the Standing Committee's opinion. And Standing Committee is almost unanimous. And now we have accepted larger recommendations of the Standing Committee. The bill has come to the Parliament. For one reason or another, the BJP and other opposition parties are stalling any discussion on the food security.
And Mr. Thomas, they fully intend to continue doing this. So therefore my question is the same. The BJP says that unless we have a new law minister, or the law minister resigns or is sacked, unless we have a new railway minister, this cannot go through. There cannot be anything substantial as far as food security or any other bill. So my question to you, sir, is the same. Are we going to not see the light of day as far as this bill translating into an act is concerned?
See, the present argument of BJP is that they want the resignation of the railway minister, the resignation of the law minister, is something a argument, because even before these incidents, they have been stalling the house. We started discussion much before all these incidents happened. So, on one pretext or other, they don't want this important bill to be discussed and passed in the house. Even though publicly they say they support this bill in principle. So they should clearly tell to the people of this country whether they want to support this bill, whether this important bill, which is going to help the starving lakhs and lakhs of people in the country, and this is a legal entitlement, and this is a life cycle structure. The pregnant woman, the lactating woman, the newborn child, the child up to the age standard, the aged people are going to get nutritious food, prepared food, homemade food as per the kilocalories. So they should clearly tell whether they are against this principle, this bill, or what is their political agenda.
Fair enough, sir. You've made that point. Thank you so much for joining us.